Hi, I'm Jeanne Fiorini. Thanks for being here at the Tarot Tips. Today we're going to do something that I hope you will find fun, interesting, informative. I've been working with a colleague using the tarot cards in conjunction with storytelling. And we're finding it to be quite a useful way to get an objective perspective on what's going on with us. So we're going to play around with that a little bit today. I'm going to, this is a little bit like the game Mad Libs, if you played that recently or if you've played it as a kid. I'm going to give you some of the parameters and then fill in the blank kind of a thing. Some of the blanks you're going to fill in consciously and intentionally, and some of them, the blanks are going to be filled in by the cards that you draw. So hopefully, you know, the idea here is that a story, anything that comes from inside of us, can tell us something about ourselves. That's really what a tarot reading is. We're looking to understand ourselves better, to understand, you know, our relationships, our work, our purpose, whatever it is, in a fuller way. So with this exercise, I would ask that you try to be as creative as you can. Let the story come to you. Don't try to force it. Don't overthink it. And if you can, record yourself as you go through this process, this dialogue here. And I will write it on the frames here so that you have it. But I think it, you know, and I'll do it, I'll fill in the blanks live as we're going along here, just to give you an example. So the idea is once you've finished the story, which is really going to be a reading for yourself, really take some time and look at it and see what reflections you see, see what truths might have come to the surface, kind of unconsciously or from that subliminal place inside of yourself. So storytelling and the tarot. It's going to be helpful if you approach this with play, and even if you start the dialogue or start the story with something like once upon a time, or long, long ago, or in a land far away, okay? So start your story with some intro like that. I'm going to read you the first couple of sentences. There once was a person who had many questions about blank, period. So fill in that blank with whatever you have questions about. The obvious, or, you know, anything specific? Okay, so intentionally fill in the subject that you're going to be using this method to help to understand. This will set the tone for the cards that you pull. What is it that you have questions about? There once was a person who had many questions about blank. There were things to understand, but these things had proven to be elusive. It was time to ask for help. Period. Now at this point, I would ask you to choose intentionally to think about someone, something, some entity that you would like to ask to guide you along in this story. It could be a spirit guide, it could be an ancestor, it could be an animal helper, could be your power animal, it could be a beloved pet, what, you know, it could be any person, real or imagined. You might call in Obi-Wan Kenobi. Think of someone who you consider to be wise and knowing and a helpful spirit to you. So the second blank, or the second thing for you to fill in intentionally. The person knew it was time to ask for help, and they called upon whoever for guidance. Please, wise one, tell me something I need to know about where I find myself in my life. And at this point, you're going to draw 2 cards. So as I'm playing along, or kind of showing you by example here what I'd like you to do, I'm going to say I have questions about my work in the next 5 years. I'm going to call upon Obi-Wan Kenobi. Please, wise one, tell me something I need to know about where I find myself in my life. I'm going to draw any 2 cards. Pick these 2 up here. 7 of Pentacles and the Death card is what I got. So in the spirit of being creative and playing along here, I'm going to try to, in my own mind, imagine that I'm speaking from the position of Obi-Wan. And I'm going to say, Jeanne, you might consider what it is it's time to let go of. You might think about how hard you want to work. Okay, I'm just playing around here, but you get the idea. So 7 of Pentacles and the Death card. This does tell me something about my work in the next 5 years. So from the place of the wise being, draw your 2 cards and have them tell you. So it's as if Obi-Wan is telling me 7 of Pentacles and the Death card. There are things to consider, and you may find yourself letting go of things before you thought you would. Okay, so you can pause the recording there if you want. Work with that now, or you could work with the whole scenario at the end, and I'll make sure you get a copy of all of this, all of these things to fill in. Second question, Obi-Wan, what is my part in creating this situation? Again, I'm going to draw 2 cards. How did I get myself here, essentially? 3 of Pentacles and the 8 of Cups. Interestingly, very similar to these cards. You have created a firm foundation, but you might be ready to be thinking about leaving some things behind. I could extrapolate, expand on that, but I won't. I think you get the idea. From Obi-Wan's perspective, I'm going to be looking at these cards. What would I tell myself if I was the wise and all-knowing Obi-Wan Kenobi? Okay, the next question I have for Obi-Wan is, what is my best approach to help me move forward successfully? Obi-Wan, help me. I'm going to pick, you can pick 1 or 2, don't pick more than that. I'm just going to pick 1. Knight of Pentacles. I'm really validated, if you want to say, in the number of pentacles that I'm getting here around a work question. It's always nice when the subject of the question matches the suit that you get. If I had asked a love question and I got all these pentacles, I'd have to bend my mind around a little bit. But I ask a work question, I'm getting pentacles, and how pentacles might be changing. So the question is, what is my best approach to help me move forward successfully? This card says to me, Obi-Wan would say, just put 1 foot in front of the other. Don't worry about the outcome. Just keep going until you and your horse get tired. Okay. What is the last piece of information, Obi-Wan, that you might give me before we part ways? What do I need to remember? And Obi-Wan will say, Strength card. Choices are up to you. How much energy do you have? How much energy do you want to put out? How much are you responding to the needs of others and to the needs of yourself? Pay attention to your energy level, and that will give you the answers you need. Okay? You never know what you're going to come up with. So be playful, be creative, be spontaneous. Don't think about it too much. Try to come from the objective place of the wise being external, and see how it reflects the wise being that's inside of you. Enjoy that. I hope it's useful. Next time we're going to create a more specific personal mythology for yourself. See you next time.